So 2024 has been a seriously good year for gaming.
Okay, you're overreacting.
We are nearly at the end of the year and I've played a lot of games from this year but also from previous years. And if you're wondering what games you should play next, then trust me, you're going to want to put some of these games on your list. And there are still games yet to come out which I can't wait to play.
So, are you excited for holiday?
Honestly, I cannot wait. I need this freaking holiday.
How long? I'll start packing.
So in no particular order, let's start with number 15. We have one of the most underrated games of 2024, Banishers Ghosts of New Eden. It plays a lot like the Plague Tale games and a bit like God of War. And straight out of the gate, the graphics are unbelievable. The story gripped me as you and your wife are both banishers investigating a cursed town. Your wife gets hurt and becomes a ghost, and even though your job is to banish spirits to the afterlife, you want to try and bring her back. And there's a possibility by basically killing innocent people. So you will have the difficult choice to make on some of these side quests where, oh my gosh, yeah, this was very hard. The combat is decent. It does feel a bit clunky at times, but it was good enough. And when I got my rifle and was able to upgrade abilities and weapons, it became a lot more enjoyable. The pacing can slow down quite a bit. Some people will like it, some people won't. I don't mind it because it just breaks up the story and I can just go on and explore and then progress the story at my own pace. But it's incredible how much depth there is in these side quests and side characters, because the difficult choices you will have to make, I didn't think there would be that much backstory within these characters, which was refreshing. There are 3 possible endings, and it's a shame they haven't got a new game plus on here.
Anton, your clothes look quite good.
Oh, well, Els, you're being a bit more positive. That makes a change. You like these clothes, yeah? Let's talk about the sponsors of this video. Into the AM. Into the AM are a premium clothing brand, and if you didn't know already, I'm wearing some of their clothing in this video. They've been around since 2012, and their clothing is so freaking comfortable, but not only that, the quality is so soft. The material is good. They have some really cool designs like the astronaut with a dumbbell. Like, come on, this just has me written all over it. Not only that, the stuff they sent has personality, like the Statue of Liberty with some cool colors. I still haven't been to New York. I really want to go there, but you know, it is what it is. But you can wear some of these clothes just casually, or even if you're going out with the missus, then they have some more subtle, smarter designs. Polo tops that will do it for you. And with my link in the description below in the pinned comment, you can save yourself 10% off. And they also have a lot of deals on their site, so on top of that 10% off, you will get further discounts. And for premium clothing, the prices are very good. So I can't even go out the door whilst wearing this stuff. They have shorts, hats, and I'm taking these on holiday soon. Not my PS5, but I'll be taking these. So save yourself 10% off and support the channel when using my link below.
Anton, did you use my card to buy more clothes?
What's mine's yours? I'll be right back. Arguably, this is Ubisoft's best game in such a long time. No bloat, no massive open world that becomes so tiring just after 2 to 3 hours. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown surprised the hell out of me. A beautiful 2D game as you play as Sargon. This game is so creative, especially with its combat, the way you have to figure out how to jump and use abilities to reach certain heights. And the story is really intriguing as you are part of the Immortals. And you have to travel to the cursed city of Mount Kath to to save the kidnapped prince, Prince Kazam. This game will actually surprise you, and it's actually quite difficult. It reminds me a lot of Souls games because you have to learn the sequences to these bosses, so don't think it's gonna just be a walk in the park. You can upgrade your weapons, your abilities like your chakram, which is your range tool which can be used to hit switches and enemies. You even get teleportation abilities. I haven't completed it yet just because of the backlog, but there is a lot of depth and side quests to do. I did have a bug on one of the side quests where it just kind of froze, but that's probably been fixed now, and the map is absolutely huge. Here we go. Right, that took, see? Now, I'm only just getting into the PSVR 2, which I am absolutely loving, and I'm quite amazed by Crossfire Sierra Squad. The best part of VR 2 is utilizing guns, and this is a game, oh my gosh, you may want to play if you have a PSVR 2. I just found it incredible. I spent so much time on the tutorial trying out different guns, but there's also a story mode, which is quite cool. There's a hell of a lot of missions to complete. I'm still getting used to the buttons, but handguns, machine guns, shotguns, grenades, which I'm finding a bit of difficulty kind of using. Maybe it's just I'm just not doing it right. There's even online, but I haven't even touched that yet because I just know I'm going to get absolutely battered. But it is something else playing these first-person shooters in VR 2. This is one of the best games I've played so far. And I know a few of you are debating whether to get a VR 2 from your comments, but personally, if you have the money for a PSVR 2, I strongly recommend you get one because there are a ton of games. And if you're like myself, I got it because there was a slight discount, and I do not regret it at all. There are quite a lot of games that have added PSVR support, but this game is one you're going to want to try. Now, earlier this year, we streamed Mafia, and I had never played it, and it was on my list. But you Neutronians said to me, listen, you need to play Mafia on the retro stream, and we did. And my gosh, did this game hit hard. This felt like GTA in a way, with its incredible detailed world, and even though it is a linear experience, the story is incredible. I don't know why it took me this long to play the game. Maybe because there's just so many games to get through.
Salieri paid off someone somewhere because it wasn't even in the papers.
With the way some of these modern day games are, it makes you just want to go back years ago and play some of these older games. And that is what I'm doing. It's just crazy with the crap writers we get, not just in movies, but in games. You know, we've got games like this.
I'm your daddy now, Shark. That goes for all of you. I'm your daddy.
What the f? Based in the 1930s, you follow a taxi driver gone gangster, Tommy Angelo, with the Salieri crime family. And my gosh, the missions, the attention to detail, it's just so enjoyable. And by the end of the game, it will hit hard. You will be just sitting there contemplating the absolute epicness of what you just experienced. Yeah, story-driven games, yeah, they're still the best. You have to have a good story, though. Good characters. I think some companies forget that. In number 11, now some of you may look at Rise of the Ronin and just think,
Gosh, this looks like a PS3 game.
I know. Honestly, I absolutely love this game. This game really, really surprised me. And if you're like me who have played PS1, PS2, and graphics doesn't bother you too much, you will really enjoy this game. I've put in over, I think it's like 30, 40 hours in this game. It just gets better as you go along. This is some of the best combat I've played for a samurai game. There is so many different weapons to choose from your standard sword, dual swords, katanas, the big ass weapons. And the story is great. You're a twin and you get to choose what gender to play as. You know, just 2 genders, by the way.
This is ridiculous. According to 2024, there's actually 7,655,772 different genders.
I'll be right back. This this is a fictionalized version of the historical end of the shogunate and the samurai in the 1860s. And what is great is the building of relationships between these characters and side characters. You get to choose whether to side more with the shogunate or the Western influence coming through. Now, the open world is your typical old school open world. You can find collectibles, you can, tame cats, you can take photos. It's not groundbreaking, but it's flipping good. This is one of their, if not their most successful game. Now, at number 10, you know how much I've got into Final Fantasy, and I just completed Crisis Core, or I'm on the last boss, but it's too hard, so I decided to go on YouTube and see what happened at the end. And oh my gosh, I was so moved by this game. This is a prequel to Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I honestly recommend, if you haven't played 7 Remake, I would rather have played Crisis Core first, then 7 Remake, because you will kind of understand what is going on. But either way, you can do both. But my gosh, the story in this game, this sets up nicely for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm so upset. Now, this is originally made for the PSP and believe it was ported over to the PS5. Some of you might not like the combat or the way it looks at times because it feels like an old school game at times. I wasn't too keen on Zack at first. I love Cloud, but my gosh, by the end of the game, I absolutely loved Zack. There are a lot of kind of side missions in the game. There's a hell of a lot. Some of them are quite repetitive. They're just a lot of fun. In number 9, we have a game that a lot of you have said it has fallen off massively, and maybe because it's Sony, for PC players, they decided to make it compulsory to flipping have a PSN account when some people in different countries can't actually get a PSN account. How silly is that, Sony? But then they did double back round and realize that that was a stupid idea. Even though I haven't had time to get back into Helldivers 2, this is one of the best multiplayer games I have played in a very long time. My gosh, it makes me feel like the good old Call of Duty game. They have done a lot of updates recently, and I do plan to do a video on this. Now, I haven't played it in a while, but it's up there with one of my favorite games of this year. At the minute, if I had more time, I would dedicate one night for Helldivers 2 or a multiplayer game. This will probably be it because it is just so much fun playing with some of my YouTube friends that I've met on YouTube. Like the Monsters, the Terminoids. I heard they have nuked some of the really good weapons, which is a bit annoying, but still. Has anyone played it recently? Let me know what you're thinking of Helldivers 2. Now, at number 8, I never thought Red Dead Redemption 1 would actually be as good as what I thought it would be. Just because, yes, they made a remake or they made a remaster for the PS4, I think everyone was like, what? Yeah, didn't just make a remake for the PS5? Will it hold up in modern day, and especially after playing Red Dead Redemption 2? But I have played quite a few hours on stream already, and I am loving this damn game. The acting, the story as you follow John Marston as it takes place after the epilogue and events of Red Dead 2. The main missions and the voice acting are exceptional, and it is a beautiful freaking game. I'm like, wow, it holds up so well. Just loving the exploration, the missions, even in throughout the open world. It's not as detailed as Red Dead 2, but there's some characters that just pop out of nowhere. I want to know what happens in the end, but I also don't, only because I don't want to get upset. Please, just give me positive news. Bounties, side characters, and I just think this game has aged so well. In number 7, I've put so many damn hours into Dragon's Dogma 2. If you can take away the fact that it's 30 FPS and sometimes it drops below that, rarely did I experience that. Dragon's Dogma 2, oh my gosh, what a game. But a lot of you may be like, no, it's not 60, which I can understand, but you can still have a lot of fun with it. For me, it didn't take away any of the enjoyment I had for the game. Would it be better in a higher frame rate? 100%. I didn't play the first game, and you do not need to play the first one to understand what is going on. Now, the story is decent. It's not great. Looking back on it, it was okay as you play it as a customized character and you are the Arisen. As a dragon chooses the Arisen. You lose your heart and your quest is to build yourself up, have a team of pawns that will complement your playstyle and beat the dragon. At the same time, an imposter has taken the throne and lying about being the true Arisen. It's not memorable, but it's still interesting enough. The exploration and the walking about, it doesn't get boring because there's a lot of things going on in the world, but again, a lot of you might be like, this is just long. But the monsters you fight in the game, oh my gosh. And and I recommend switching up your playstyle and your class. The game pushes you to do that, and I didn't really do that because I'm more of a sword and shield guy. But wow, once I did switch my class, I was like, wow, this feels like a totally new game, and the game really wants you to do that. So if you're gonna take on Dragon's Dogma 2, make sure you try different classes. Now in number 6, you might not think that I love horror games, but you know, I actually do, and there's no difference with Madison, especially playing it in VR2. You have the option for normal and VR2, and I can't express how incredible this game is and immersive. You know, it's not that scary. So you play as Luca and you find yourself in this mysterious house, which I think is your family's house, and you have to live out this incredible, brutal ritual that had begun years ago. I don't know if I'm going mental whilst I put that VR2 on, but wow, like it's making me question some things.
Screw this. I'm Batman. You think you can play with me?
Now, I'm not sure how it is in normal mode. I can imagine it's still flipping scary, but VR2, it is just a different ball game. I could not go back and play this in a normal setting. It's just too immersive in the VR2. I reckon we've got 1 to 2 more streams of Madison before we move on, but I want to know what happens. It's just so immersive and just, yeah.
Hi, Grandma. What was that?
Now, at number 5, I've literally only just started Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and already I can tell this game is going to be up there and a potential game of the year for me. I loved 7 Remake, I loved Crisis Core, the story, and now this is just going to be bigger, more of an open world. The video will be coming for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but my flipping gosh. So I heard there are just so many things to do once the game opens up. Find out what happens with the story. Obviously, you will find out soon what my first impressions are with 7 Rebirth whilst I'm on holiday. I want to know your thoughts about Rebirth, so comment below and let me know your experience. In number 4, we have Stellar Blade, and I knew this game would deliver on all flipping fronts.
Apart from the unrealistic look of this damn woman, which is making many women around the world insecure and making them hate themselves.
Yeah, she's based off a real-life model in South Korea. Hello? Are you okay? Are you having a stroke? The world building and the semi-open world areas were breathtaking. There were a lot of collectibles to find, and I loved exploring this world. But man, I really did enjoy the story. There was quite a nice twist to the end of the story, one I kind of had an idea to. The combat was insane. The parrying, the bosses. They nailed the combat. The amount of outfits you got in the game. And they're always adding new outfits. Like, my aim for this game is to get the platinum eventually. I'm not sure when, but I did aim for 10 this year. For how many have I got? 5 or 6? Yeah, we're still a long shot away, but let's hope. For a new release as well, like, there was no bugs. All right, apart from one, maybe. Oh, there's another glitch. These glitches are the only thing I would say, yeah, guys, like I've just said, the glitches on the ladders, for some reason they keep, yeah, see, it keeps doing it again. Now in number 3, No Man's Sky. I started playing this the other day in VR2. Oh, wow. Wow. I feel like with some of these games, I cannot go back to normal gaming. I played about 3 to 4 hours in VR2. It takes a lot to get used to with No Man's Sky. I'm trying to get used to the menus and just the kind of tutorial bit at the start, and it's quite hard to understand, but I'm getting it, and it is so immersive. Tried to play it normally without the VR2, and I just couldn't get back to it. I was like, this is just such a less of an experience is crazy because I thought, listen, am I going to enjoy it as much? I didn't. After I started it in VR2, I cannot go back. I've just about left the first planet as you are a lone survivor, and at the minute I'm just focusing on repairing my ship, gathering resources. I've literally got into my ship and traveled to another planet, and the way it works and the way you're thrust into that planet, and there's no loading screen between another planet. Starfield, it is amazing. I can imagine in normal mode it is still incredible. There's so much to do, but in VR2, what a flipping experience. I didn't even know Els went to bed. She was watching TV, and then I took it off and she was in bed and everything was dark. You can eventually build your own base, city, and you can also do co-op mode, which I want to try. Now, number 2, we have Elden Ring, because I only just beat this game, and if you want to see a full review and how I did it for a casual gamer, if you're scared of taking on Elden Ring, check out my previous video. It will really help out. But wow, it does not have to be as hard as what I started with when I first played it. And even though I don't know what's going on with the story because I don't really listen to it, I love the combat, the exploration. If you feel you cannot start it, you need to see my previous video. The enjoyment after beating these bosses. I'm a casual gamer and I managed to beat it.
No! Come on! Yes! Yay!
Now, as I said, these are in no particular order. So in number 1, we have Red Dead Redemption 2. I finished it this year, so what can I say? Again, I made a video on this. I have found it hard moving on to other games only because of how good Red Dead 2 is, and only because there is so much more for me to do. That is the most amazing thing about the game, is that I can go back and I want to play it again, and I want to be bad. I just want to do loads of bad stuff to people, you know what I mean? Rope someone up, rope a woman, and then put her on a train track and see what happens. What?
There's something very wrong with you.
Tell me something I don't know. Now, there are a few games that I haven't mentioned, just in case you see this video at a later date. I haven't mentioned Astro Bot only because that hasn't come out yet, and I cannot wait for that game. That is definitely a contender for Game of the Year, alongside Black Myth Wukong, another game that I cannot wait to play, alongside it being digital only. How pathetic. I'll still give you a chance. I'm still going to buy the game, but I want that physical release. Of course, I haven't mentioned Star Wars Outlaws because we haven't bought it yet and wasted my money on it. The more I've seen of it, I'm a bit more excited about it for sure. In that video we saw on live stream, they have said that they're focused on quality, not quantity. I just really hope the main character is likable. Just make the story really good. Make the character likable, because if you're playing as her for that many hours, you need to make her likable. Not like Forspoken. But as I said, they're working on that.
We know. The goal is to make money. We did microtransactions. Anything you can. Tax. We got different planets in the game. Tax them. Tax all of the games. They have to pay to get on the planet. That is our main concern. Money. Come on. This is ridiculous. Listen. Obviously, the players are our main concern. The player retention and happiness.
And I also haven't mentioned Assassin's Creed Shadows, which I'm more excited to play Outlaws. Shadows, I'm really not excited for. I probably will still buy it because of this YouTube channel. Yeah, you can probably tell by my voice. But anyways, I want to know what you think of the games I've played so far. What must-plays have you played from this list? What ones haven't you? What do you recommend? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let me know. Let's take a look at the comment of the day from my previous video. I finally completed Elden Ring. Shout out to Budgie Whisperer. I'm the same in many ways. I didn't really follow much of the story on my first time just because it's easy to miss so many, but after I started watching more lore videos on YouTube, and it massively opened up the world and character. I love watching lore videos. Maybe give it a try. Thanks for the comment, dude. And yeah, you know what? I feel like I will need to do that. Just find out more about the world, because I know there's a massive story behind it. Still don't know what's going on, but that's probably what I will start off with. And actually, during my second playthrough eventually, I want to know exactly what's going on and really focus on those characters. Anyways, have a great week.